Alright, let's talk about a Summoner AoE DPS build. This setup is focused on clearing packs fast, strong debuff synergy, and making your Spirit Hunter do a lot of the heavy lifting. This works great for PvE farming, events, and situations where you're fighting multiple targets at once. But also this build is very good in medium scale and big scale PvP fights. First things first, you should be using Spirit Hunter at all times for this build. You want the melee version, not the ranged one. The ranged hunter leans more towards single target damage, while the melee version shines in AoE. One of the key reasons is Eviscerate. This skill damages a frontal area, and if you position correctly and hit enemies from behind, it deals 25% bonus damage. Positioning really matters here. Treat your hunter like a cleave machine. Next up is Mortal Blast. This is your main AoE spell and one of the most important buttons in the build. Mortal Blast also spreads Spirit Shred to nearby enemies if your target already has it, which massively boosts your AoE pressure. You should absolutely take the upgrade here. It's a pure damage increase and gives cooldown reduction when your target has a Hex, which fits perfectly into our rotation. Now let's talk about Hex. Hex is your main filler skill, and you should prioritize casting it whenever it's off cooldown. It hits hard and also causes your debuffs to deal 25% more damage. Make sure to upgrade Hex to reduce its duration and cooldown, so you can keep it rolling constantly in AoE situations. Next, unlock Inspiration. This one's simple but important. It gives you more passive essence generation, which means more commands, more uptime, and smoother rotations in longer fights. You'll also want Reconstruct. This lets you heal your pet when things get messy. You won't use it constantly, but when your hunter is tanking multiple enemies, you'll be very glad you have it. Now we get into one of the strongest skills in the build, Galvanic Evisceration. This ability reduces the target's magic defense by 15% for 6 seconds and applies 3 stacks of Shocked, which is a pure damage buff. If you hit with Eviscerate again, the debuff duration can extend up to 15 seconds, which is huge for sustained AoE damage. This skill makes everything else hit harder. Soul Flare is another must-have. It deals high AoE damage and also applies an AoE stun. It's very quick to cast, making it excellent for controlling packs, interrupting mobs, or stopping players in PvP. This is one of your best "oh nice" buttons. Next, unlock Amplify. This buffs your pet's damage by 25% for 10 seconds and doubles its essence generation, making it perfect for burst windows. Upgrade this to Recharging Amplification, which reduces the cooldown when you consume a Savagery stack. This lets you line up frequent burst phases instead of waiting forever. Don't skip Body and Spirit. This causes Spirit Shred and Mortal Blast to restore 20% of damage dealt as health and 5% as mana to your pet. This adds a surprising amount of sustain in AoE fights and helps your hunter stay alive without constant micromanagement. One of my personal favorite skills is Siphon Vessel. This lets you steal mana from your pet, and you'll be using this a lot in longer pulls or extended fights. It keeps your rotation flowing without downtime. Void is basically AoE silence plus damage, and yes, it looks very cool. This is extremely useful in PvE to silence caster mobs, as well as in PvP to shut people down mid-cast. Great utility skill with solid damage attached. Next up is Mass Affliction. This applies an AoE damage over time effect and also weakens your targets, making them easier to deal with. Upgrade it to extend the duration and reduce the cooldown, so you can keep constant pressure on large packs. Once you unlock these core skills, the rest is flexible. You can adapt the remaining points based on PvE versus PvP, survivability, and utility preferences. But everything covered so far is the core AoE DPS engine of the build. For gear, prioritize Intelligence, Wisdom, Mentality, and Magic Power. For weapons, I like Wand as my ranged weapon, a Great Axe with Magic Power for melee, surprisingly strong and works very well with this setup. That's the Summoner AoE DPS build. It's aggressive, it clears fast, and it really leans into the Summoner fantasy of overwhelming packs with debuffs, pets, and explosions. If you want a single target DPS version, a PvP Summoner build, or a rotation breakdown, let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe, it really helps.